Loro Languaged Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. This is your cozy corner for natural English practice and real-life conversations. I'm Jayden.
And I'm Aria. We are so happy to have you here with us today.
Now, before we jump into today's topic, we have one tiny favor to ask. If you enjoy listening to us, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps other English learners find us.
Exactly. And we would also love it if you left a comment down below. It can be super simple. Just tell us where you're listening from or share your thoughts on today's topic.
And you know what? Typing a comment is actually a great way to practice your English without even realizing it. Your brain is working, choosing vocabulary, putting words in order. It is real practice.
That is so true. So please, don't be nervous about making mistakes. Even just one short sentence is totally fine. We genuinely love reading your thoughts.
All right, are you ready? Let's get right into today's topic.
I want to start today with a tiny social moment that happens almost every day. Someone sees you at work, at school, in a store, or even in the elevator, and they ask, "How are you?"
And most people automatically say, "I'm fine."
Exactly. It comes out so fast. You do not even think about it.
It is like a password. Someone says, "How are you?" and you say, "I'm fine." The door opens, conversation over.
That is exactly the problem. "I'm fine" is not wrong, but it is so automatic that sometimes it sounds empty.
I agree. It can sound like you're not really answering.
Right? And I noticed this at work one morning. I walked in, and a coworker asked me how I was. I said, "I'm fine," but I was not fine at all. I had slept badly, spilled coffee on my sleeve, and spent 20 minutes trying to find my keys before leaving the house.
That sounds like the kind of morning where you are physically present but emotionally still in bed.
Exactly. But I still smiled and said, "I'm fine."
Because that is what we are trained to say.
Yes. And the funny thing is, my coworker looked at me and said, "Are you sure? You look like your soul left your body."
That is a very honest coworker.
Very honest, and suddenly I laughed because she was right. I was not fine. I was barely functioning.
So what did you say after that?
I said, honestly, I'm a little tired today, but I'll survive."
That is much more real.
And the conversation immediately felt better. She laughed, told me she was also tired, and suddenly we had a real human moment.
That is important. Sometimes changing one small answer can make the conversation warmer.
Exactly. So today we are talking about what to say instead of "I'm fine."
And just to be clear, "I'm fine" is not a bad phrase.
No, not at all. You can use it, but if you use it for everything, your English starts to sound a little flat.
Like you only have one button.
Yes. Happy, tired, stressed, busy, excited, sick, confused. Everything becomes "I'm fine."
That is true. And real life has more colors than that.
Exactly. So let's add more colors.
Let's start with the most common situation. Someone says, "How are you?" and you're actually okay. Nothing special. Not amazing. Not terrible.
In that case, instead of "I'm fine," you can say "I'm good."
Simple and natural.
Yes. Or "not bad."
I use "not bad" a lot. It sounds relaxed.
It does. It is very casual. It means things are okay, maybe not perfect, but fine enough.
Fine enough is a very realistic mood.
Very realistic. Another one is "pretty good."
That sounds a little more positive.
Yes. If you say "pretty good," it feels friendly and open. It gives the other person a little energy to continue.
So instead of saying "I'm fine" every time, you can say "I'm good," "not bad," or "pretty good."
Exactly. Small change, more natural English.
But what if you're not okay? Because people ask, how are you even when you're clearly struggling?
This is where it gets interesting. You do not always need to give a deep emotional report. You do not need to tell your coworker your entire life story at 9 in the morning.
Please do not do that before coffee.
Exactly. But you can be a little honest without making it too heavy.
Like what?
You can say, I'm a little tired today.
That is very useful.
Or, I've had a long morning.
That one sounds natural because it gives context without too much detail.
Yes, it tells the truth, but it does not make the other person responsible for fixing your life.
That is a good balance.
Another good one is, I'm hanging in there.
I love that phrase.
Me too. It means life is not perfect, but you are managing.
It has a very human feeling. Like, I am not great, but I am still standing.
Exactly. And sometimes that is the most accurate answer.
Let's create a scene. You arrive at work after a terrible commute. Snow, traffic. Maybe your bus was late.
Very Canadian.
Very Canadian. Your coworker says, "Morning, how are you?" Instead of saying, "I'm fine," you say, "I'm hanging in there. The traffic was awful today."
That sounds much more real.
And your coworker can respond. They might say, "Oh, same. The roads were terrible."
Now you have a small connection. That is the power of a better answer.
It opens a door.
Yes. I'm fine often closes the door, but a small detail opens it.
What if you're actually in a good mood?
Then do not hide it behind. I'm fine. Say something with energy.
Like, "I'm doing great."
Yes. Or, I'm feeling good today.
That sounds simple but warm.
Another one is, actually, I'm in a really good mood today.
I like the word "actually" there. It makes it sound like you're sharing something real.
Exactly. And then the other person may ask, oh, yeah. Why?
Then you can say, "I finally slept well," or "I got good news," or "I had a great breakfast."
Breakfast can absolutely change your whole personality.
A good breakfast is emotional support.
Exactly.
I think learners sometimes worry that these answers are too simple.
But simple is good. Natural English is often simple.
The difference is that you are choosing the right simple phrase for the right moment.
Yes, I'm fine is simple. But it is too general. I'm tired. Not bad. Pretty good. Hanging in there. Doing great. These are also simple, but more specific.
Let's talk about the social side. Sometimes "how are you" is not a real question.
That is very true.
Sometimes it is just a greeting.
Yes. If a cashier says, hi, how are you? They probably do not expect a 10-minute answer.
Exactly. They are being polite.
In that case, a short answer is best. You can say, good, thanks. How about you?
Very natural.
Or, not bad, thanks.
Or, "pretty good. How are you?"
Exactly. The key is to keep it light.
So if it is a quick greeting, do not over-explain.
Right? Match the situation.
But if it is a friend asking, maybe you can be more honest.
Exactly. If a close friend says, how are you really? That is different.
Then "I'm fine" might actually hide the truth.
Yes. And sometimes we say, I'm fine, because we do not want to bother people.
That is very real.
But close relationships need honest answers sometimes. You can say, I've been a bit stressed lately.
That is honest, but not too dramatic.
Or, I'm okay, just dealing with a lot.
That gives the other person a chance to care.
Exactly. And if you do not want to talk deeply, you can add, but I do not really want to get into it right now.
That is a very useful boundary.
Yes, you can be honest and still protect your space.
So you could say, I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I do not want to talk about it right now.
Exactly. That is much clearer than I'm fine when you're obviously not fine.
Because when you say I'm fine with a sad face, people know something is off.
Yes, your words say fine, but your face says disaster.
That mixed message is confusing.
Very confusing.
Let's talk about work again. At work, you may not want to share too much.
Right. Work honesty needs boundaries.
If your manager asks, "How are you?" and you are tired, you probably do not want to say, "emotionally destroyed."
Probably not.
So what can you say?
You can say, I'm doing okay. Just a busy day.
That is professional.
Or, a little tired, but I'm good.
That is honest and still positive.
Another one is, I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking.
That sounds mature.
Yes. It is calm, polite, and not too personal.
I think that is useful for learners working in customer service too.
Definitely. If a customer asks, how are you? You can say, I'm good, thanks. How can I help you today?
That moves smoothly into service.
Yes. Or, pretty good, thanks. What can I help you find?
Very natural.
And if you're actually tired, you probably still keep it simple with customers. Good. Thanks. How about you?
Because the customer is not your therapist.
Exactly.
Let's talk about pronunciation and tone, because the same words can feel different depending on how you say them.
That is so true. If you say I'm fine with a flat voice, it sounds like you're not fine.
Or angry.
Yes, sometimes I'm fine means I am absolutely not fine, and you should probably run.
That is the dangerous "I'm fine."
Exactly. So if you really mean you're okay, say it with a light tone. I'm good. Thanks.
Tone carries emotion.
Yes. And for English learners, tone can be just as important as vocabulary.
A simple answer with a warm tone sounds better than a fancy answer with no feeling.
Exactly.
Let's create another scene. You meet a neighbor in the hallway. They say, "Hey, how's it going?"
This is more casual than how are you?
Right? You probably would not say, "I'm fine, thank you."
That sounds a bit robotic.
So what sounds better?
You can say pretty good. You?
Or, "Not bad, how about you?"
Or good. Just heading out.
That last one is useful because it politely keeps the conversation short.
Exactly. It answers the question and signals that you are leaving.
Good, just heading out. I like that.
Another one is good, just busy today.
Very natural.
Again, small detail, better flow.
Let's talk about when someone asks, "How have you been?"
Good point. That is different from how are you?
How are you is about now. How have you been is about recently.
Exactly. So instead of I'm fine, you can say I've been good.
Or, "I've been pretty busy."
Or I've been a little stressed, but overall okay.
That sounds very natural for catching up with someone.
Yes. If you have not seen someone for a while, they want a little update. Not just I'm fine.
So if an old friend says, "How have you been?" and you say, "I'm fine," it feels too short.
Exactly. It can sound like you do not want to talk.
But if you say, "I've been good, just working a lot lately," that gives them something to respond to.
Yes. They can ask about work or share their own update.
Conversation is like giving people handles.
Handles.
Yes. If your answer has no detail, there is nothing to grab. But if you add one small detail, the other person can hold on to it and continue.
I love that. Give people a handle.
"I'm fine" has no handle.
Pretty good, just a little tired today has a handle.
Exactly.
Let's give listeners a simple system. If you do not know what to say, answer with feeling plus reason.
Feeling plus reason.
Yes. For example, I'm tired because I slept late. I'm happy because it's Friday. I'm busy because we have a lot of orders today.
That is easy to remember.
And you can keep it very short. You do not need a long story.
I'm good, just busy. That is enough.
Exactly. Or, I'm a little tired, but doing okay.
That sounds real.
Yes. Real, but not heavy.
What about when you really do not want to talk?
Good question. You can still be polite.
What would you say?
Good, thanks. Hope you're doing well.
That gently closes the conversation.
Yes. Or, I'm okay, just in the middle of something right now.
That is useful at work.
Very useful. It says, I am not ignoring you, but I cannot talk right now.
Better than giving a fake I'm fine and then feeling annoyed.
Exactly.
I think the deeper lesson is that English conversation is not just about answering questions. It is about managing connection.
Yes! Sometimes you want to open the door. Sometimes you want to keep it short. Sometimes you want to be honest. Sometimes you need boundaries.
And I'm fine cannot do all of those jobs.
Exactly. It is just one phrase. Useful, but limited.
So let's review the toolbox.
For normal days, say, I'm good, not bad, or pretty good.
For tired days, say I'm a little tired today. Or I'm hanging in there.
For good days, say, I'm doing great, or I'm in a really good mood today.
For busy days, say I'm good, just busy.
For stressful days, say, I've been a bit stressed lately, or I'm okay, just dealing with a lot.
For quick greetings, say good. Thanks. How about you?
For work or customer service, say, I'm good, thanks. How can I help you?
And for catching up, say I've been good, just busy lately.
That already gives you so much more variety than I'm fine.
And none of these are difficult.
Exactly. You do not need advanced vocabulary to sound natural. You need useful everyday phrases that fit the moment.
So next time someone asks, how are you? Pause for half a second.
Ask yourself, do I want to keep this short, make it warm, or be a little honest?
Then choose the answer that matches.
Maybe it is. I'm good.
Maybe it is. I'm hanging in there.
Maybe it is. I've been a little stressed, but I'm okay.
And maybe sometimes it really is. I'm fine.
Yes, we are not banning the phrase.
We are just giving it some friends.
Exactly. I'm fine can stay, but it should not work alone every day.
That is a nice way to say it.
Because the more choices you have, the more natural your English feels.
And the more real your conversations become.
That is the goal. Not perfect English, real English.
So here is our small challenge for this week. Do not answer how are you with I'm fine every time.
Try one new answer.
Use I'm good.
Use not bad.
Use I'm hanging in there.
Use I'm good, just busy.
And notice how people respond.
You might be surprised. A small answer can lead to a better conversation.
And a better conversation can make English feel much more alive.
Exactly. That is why this tiny phrase matters.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's conversation.
We really hope you enjoyed it. And remember, no matter what you're struggling with right now, whether it is saving money, learning English, or just getting through the week, take it one step at a time. Be kind to yourself.
Absolutely. Learning a language is a journey, and you are doing great just by being here and listening.
If you found this episode helpful, or even just a little bit funny, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It is the best way to support what we do.
And please don't forget to leave a comment down below. Tell us what you thought about today's topic, or just say hi. We read every single comment and we love hearing from you.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and trust the process.
We will catch you in the next episode. Take care, everyone. Bye.